It is said that marriage is sacred. It is also said that marriage is holy. Do you know why marriage is sacred? And also, do you know why marriage is holy? Marriage is sacred because two people have decided they're going to be with each other and each other only. They're not going to be caught up in the bed with nobody else other than the person they have chosen as a lifetime partner. It is said that marriage is holy because you have made a vow to God, mankind, and yourself. You held up your right hand and made a vow that the word of God will be the foundation of your union. You made a vow. You raised your right hand and made a vow. I know this may seem like my left hand, but my body orientation is different. If I were to turn around, then you will see this side. So nobody should tell me I'm lifting my left hand. When we get married, we allow ourselves to get carried away over lustful desires of other opposite sex. All right. Long time ago, a friend told me how she was still having strong feelings for her ex, and she is married. Just to get that clear, she was having feelings for her ex. If I were to be a stupid friend, I would have told her, well, maybe it's not meant for you to be with your husband. But be careful, for the word of God said, no man shall put asunder what God has put together. Even your advice being the basis for somebody to leave their marriage makes you guilty of going against the word of God. You help to put asunder what God put together by saying things that caused that divorce. This is what I told her. I said, listen, you're married. You may go there and your husband may never know what you do. I may never know what you do. But the moment you break that covenant you made in front of God and man, the moment you sleep with that guy, everything will start to spiral out of control in your marriage, because you are at that point invoking an unclean spirit upon your marriage. Your husband may not know, but because you are breaking a vow, a promise, because you are going against what you lifted your right hand and promised God, man, and yourself, you will bring problems upon your marriage. This is the same thing that happened since the beginning of time. When Adam and Eve disobeyed God, everything changed. This is why we are all struggling today. So when you walk down that aisle and make promise to God, lift your right hand, make promise to God, mankind, and yourself, you need to stick to it. If you're not sure you want to be with that man or that woman, then don't walk down the aisle and take God to be a joke. Because when you break that covenant, when you break that promise and that vow, there will be consequences. Your partner does not have to know. It's just like when termites enter your home. You don't know it's eating away. But over time, your home will just start to crumble. So your partner doesn't have to know. It's the evil spirit you invoke on your marriage by cheating, by committing adultery, that will make things spiral out of control. And when it starts to spiral out of control, you won't know why. But you should know why, because you stepped out of your commitment to your partner. Sometimes you may feel whatever going on inside your head, your heart, or whatever, but don't fall for it. When you get married, it's time for you to pray for your husband. It's time for you to pray for your wife. Find your own personal time to pray for your husband, to pray for your wife. Don't think that they're supposed to do it on their own. Pray together and pray separately. You have to fast and pray for your husband. so that he don't fall for temptation. You have to fast and pray for your wife so she don't fall for any temptation. You don't make it an expectation. You make it a point of prayer, or a prayer point, whichever way sits right. When you get married, don't play that game. Don't play that game, because that's the game Satan is waiting for you to play. The moment you play, everything gonna go out of control. Until you go to your partner and confess that you did something that has brought this upon your marriage, and ask for God forgiveness from the depth of your heart, I don't think anything is going to be okay. Now, don't get me wrong or get it twisted. Cheating on your husband or your wife is not the only thing that's going to bring problems upon your marriage. However, let's face it, it's one of the worst things to do to your husband or your wife. You are breaking trust right there. You are telling your husband or your wife, whoever the victim is, that you prefer somebody else over them. You love somebody else. You're telling them that you're not happy in your marriage. You're telling them so many things. Worst of all, you're telling them the promise you made in front of God, man, and him or her was all a big lie. But that's one of the biggest things you don't want to do to your husband or your wife. When you made that vow, it was one of those promises that included everything that you shouldn't do to destroy your marriage. It may not be spelled out, but that's one of them. You definitely don't want to meet your husband with the cookie. And it's not only the women. You definitely, as a man, don't want to stop touching your wife and stop giving your wife the spooner. There are so many things in there. But please, do not leave your husband and go sleep with another man. Please do not leave your wife and go sleep with another woman. What are you looking for? Huh?